University, and I got new shoes. Great. So, hi, my name is Zoe Ross-Nash, and I'm a senior here at Elon University. I was asked to talk today about my history and my connections to eating disorders, and I found this incredibly difficult, as I've never had an eating disorder. And I felt a little uncomfortable sharing stories that weren't my own. But then I realized that it was those stories that affected me so much, that impacted my life, and is the reason why I'm here today. Did you know that eating disorders claim the lives of 8 times more people than breast cancer, yet receive a fraction of the funding, and everyone knows what that pink little ribbon means? And as Ellie said, it's the single most deadly mental disease? Probably not. So my mom suffered from bulimia for 15 years, and she's been in recovery for 31, because she's the best one alive and motivates me for everything I do. But just because my mom had an eating disorder, I was 12 times more likely to develop bulimia. And as Ellie said, there's a 50 to 80% genetic component of me developing an eating disorder just because my mom had one. So I had the loaded gun. I had the genetic component. Where's the trigger, the cultural component? I was a very serious ballerina in New York, and there would be times that I'd have my breast bound so I could fit in the costumes. I had to be a certain weight on the scale to get a part. I had to wear the same costume as a 14-year-old that I did as an 18-year-old. And think about your body as a 14-year-old, a freshman in high school, and think about how different it is when you're a senior. Like, drastically different. And that was scary. So why did I have the biological component and the genetic component, and why did I not develop an eating disorder? I truly believe it's based off of one reason. I had individuals around me who were educated about eating disorders. I had so many resources to go to if I was ever having questions. I knew that diets didn't really work, and I learned to love my body for what it could do for me, and not what it looked like. So I posted on Facebook that I was doing this event, and one of my friends texted me, and he said, "Zoe, what are you going to talk about?" And I explained to him how much difficulty I was having. And he's like, "All right, let's brainstorm." So I started sharing the facts that I mentioned earlier, and then I told him this story. While I was working at the National Eating Disorders Association this summer, I was on the helpline, so I answered crisis calls. One of my first calls I got was an older man. He had a nice deep voice, and he said, "Hi, I'm looking for eating disorder recovery centers for my daughter. She's 21 years old, and I need to help." So this really hit home for me. I'm 21, I have a supportive father, I have a history of eating disorders in my family, so I gave him every resource that I could possibly give him. He thanked me, I wished him good luck, and I hung up the phone. About 2 months later, one of my last shifts at the office, the phone rings, I pick it up, it's an older man, deep voice, and he says, "Hi, I'd like to be in contact with Grief Support Services." Grief Support Services are for when someone loses a loved one to an eating disorder. I immediately recognized his voice, and I was heartbroken. But this man had hope. He wanted to use his story, his absolute devastation, to educate others, so maybe a life could be spared, because no one should be losing a loved one to an eating disorder. My friend was absolutely shocked from this story, and he's one of the most educated guys I know. And here, he went to college, and he didn't know about it. So that's what needs to happen. We need to educate each other. As Professor Herman said, 1 in 5 college students are suffering from symptoms of eating disorders. I think about it, I'm in a sorority of 200 women. About every pledge class is 50 girls. It's a little less than a pledge class is suffering in silence from eating disorder. I love these women. I would do anything for them. I call them my sisters. And these women are suffering, women and men are suffering in silence. So what can you guys do? You took a huge step just even coming today and learning a little bit more about it. But on your walk home even, or when you get back to your room, go online. Look up the National Eating Disorders Association website. On the top right corner, there's a little search bar. Look up index of handouts. And there's so much information, so many resources, just so you can get a little bit more of a better understanding of what people are experiencing, what 1 in 5 of your friends are going through. Go on to Eating Recovery Center's website, look up blogs, get a better understanding, learn a little bit more. Because maybe if you learn how to love your body, if you're appreciative for what it can do for you, and you know that you can love it in any stage it's in, that maybe you might be the reason someone gets the help that they so desperately need. Thank you.